Oh man, I gotta get going. Where's the driver? I need a driver. Come on. Are you the driver?
Of course. Where do you want to go to?
Oh my god.
Okay.
Let's go see Hong Kong.
Absolutely. Just get my safety belt on.
Alrighty. So why are you in Hong Kong?
Well, it's very easy. Here these days is the RISE conference. It's the biggest, if you want, digital conference here in Asia. Founded only 4 years ago, and as digitalization is one of the most important topics for us, that's the place to be.
Do you see anything that really excites you there?
Well, I walk the stands, a lot of startups, there are very ambitious people, very excited. Not all of them will change the world, but some might. And of course, the main topic these days is artificial intelligence.
Yes. Where will people truly encounter AI? In cars, in their life, wherever?
When I look at our company, there's basically no area which would not be affected by AI, whether it's production, where we do predictive maintenance based on data, whether it's in R&D, where of course we're getting much more powerful tools to develop cars faster, simulate, use the data collection of a huge amount of cars to come up with better solutions. You go on the sales side, where the cars are standing shorter on the lot, they are better equipped and the customers are more satisfied. But then of course when it comes to product, the most ambitious task is to make cars autonomous, and this is impossible without artificial intelligence.
Why is it impossible? What is AI doing that makes autonomous driving possible?
I mean, you cannot have an autonomous car which works rule-based, where you just say, well, when there are yellow lines like here, that's a pedestrian way, so we have to stop, and when nobody's crossing the line, then after 3.5 seconds you start again. The world is far too differentiated, too flexible, that you could do all of that based on specific rules. So you must develop a car based on AI which is capable of learning itself within certain guidelines, trained by humans, exposed to situations where it can learn. Perhaps artificial intelligence is not really the best word, probably machine learning is a better expression.
Will we have it so that the car will recognize the facial expression and maybe the emotion of another driver?
That is certainly a very tough one. First of all, the cars can communicate. They will be
with each other.
Internet of Things, and they already realize that the next car is preparing for launch before you can see it. But still in the face you can see the planned intention, and that might be even before the car shows any technical action. We are certainly making progress on that field as well, to be as good as a human being in interpreting faces and what they express. We are quite some way to go, but we are moving this direction as well.
Okay. Well, what happens when there's snow on the camera? What happens? You know, like a real practical thing.
Of course, all of our cameras are heated. And of course, where the situation is such that you need a wiper, we have to have a wiper. So we have to make sure, of course, that these cameras work under all conditions. Clear, the first autonomous cars will not be operated in Denver in the middle of winter time at night. But step by step, of course, we have to work with all conditions.
In this perfect world where cars are connected and they're autonomous and they're shared and electric, how do you view the design of cities and homes changing?
I mean, the most obvious change is that these autonomous cars don't have to hang around and wait for the driver to come back. They have a higher use rate, and this time they don't stand around anyway, and if they are not needed, they can go places where they don't bother anybody, and therefore you don't have to look for parking space in the design of a city. A significant change. On top of that, of course, the traffic flow can be much more constant. their cars will interact with the infrastructure. They know that the signal will turn red a minute from now, and they adjust their speed accordingly. They know where there's a congestion, where they better take a way around, much better than your navigation system can tell you today. So there are many areas where with a smaller amount of cars you can transport a higher amount of people with less use of space and time. When our founders invented the car, this was really a revolution, and it gave people the freedom of movement. They became independent.
Right.
Now we're extending that to almost everybody, whether you're young, whether you're old, whether you're in some form or the other disabled, or whether even you want to drink alcohol.
God forbid. Yeah.
This doesn't constrain or reduce your mobility by using autonomous cars, and therefore this is another step of independence for even more people than cars can give today.
So I don't know about you, Dieter, but let's get something to eat.
I didn't have breakfast, so I'm certainly hungry. I guess we're asking Mercedes where to take us for a good breakfast.
I don't need AI for that. I can show you a great place.
So we take human intelligence
We take
and
human
experience.
intelligence.
That's a good
right.
idea.
It's a guy, not AI. I posted on LinkedIn that I would be meeting with you in Hong Kong. And one of the most common questions was the moral issue. Like, people think that you have to train AI to decide who to hit if you're going to hit somebody, or how does this work? What's the morality of artificial intelligence?
You don't teach the robot to pick one to collide with. The car will do everything possible to avoid a collision, but if it's inevitable, it does not pick, I better go right or go left, but ultimately it will hit something without making a choice.
Okay.
So, of course, in general, it's not just about cars. In general, the interaction between robots and humans, we as society have to deal with and discuss if and where there are ethical questions and how to answer them.
I was also asked kind of the opposite question. Let's say you're in a AMG and it's a 100-kilometer speed limit. AI is telling you 100 kilometers, but you want to stand on it. What happens? What does AI do?
Well, as long as we don't talk about a robot taxi, where the people sitting in are really the passengers and not driving the car. Any other car which has autonomous capabilities, always the human is in ultimate control. So when you decide to violate the law, it's up to you, but you have to live with the consequences.
Yeah. Related to that question, people around you could do something stupid, right? And AI would react faster than a human to that, right?
That is absolutely right. It has all these sensors and it has reaction times which are fractions of the reaction of humans. So still physics apply. Yes. So when you have a certain speed and a certain mass, it takes some distance to come to a stop. And if that distance is not given, then AI can't help. But up to this limit, it can do much more than a human could do. You want to turn 100 years old? You have to buy ginger.
That's not like buying an apple. We
No. You can't eat it right now. $8. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, it's good. It's yours.
Gee, thank you.
No, you have to carry that stuff.
I will treasure this forever.
Look, that's a shower head, oh. It must be, yeah?
What is this? Not exactly Austin, Texas, is it?
No, slightly different. Unfortunately, the world is not homogeneous.
Yeah.
It would be pretty
This
boring.
is South by Southeast here.
Yeah.
For this future world of autonomous, electric, all the good stuff. If somebody said, Dieter, you can have anything you want to make this happen faster, what would you want?
I would say the biggest hurdle we're having is connectivity. I mean, we're talking about the Internet of Things, but this requires an internet, and these are mobile devices. So we need a network.
Yeah.
Go for it and let us connect these vehicles, else we can't use the capabilities of these cars, and therefore that can't be our task. These are very, very smart vehicles. They can talk with each other if somebody puts up a line.
Clearly you're an optimist about the technology, what's going to happen with cars. So do you see any real limits?
Well, hardly any. Our people are so smart, and with AI we can accomplish so much, so hard to imagine a nut they couldn't crack. But, well, here might be one. Hey Mercedes,
How can I help you?
could you tell us a joke?
Sorry, my engineers were German.
You see?